Hi everyone, and I'm Danny, and I thought today I would just do a quick video to give you a different way about thinking about how your mind works and to give you some new insights into a problem that you're having at the moment. Okay, so we're going to be using the whiteboard behind me, so I'm going to be out of shot for most of this, but I'm just going to talk you through it. So I'm sure most of you are aware we have a conscious mind and we have an unconscious mind. Okay, so the interesting thing about this relationship is that it's what we call bi-directional. So what that means is the conscious mind can impact and affect the unconscious mind, and just like the unconscious mind impacts the conscious mind. Okay, so if we think about what the role of the conscious mind is, it's to direct, it's to instruct, and it's to affirm things that we want stored and registered in our unconscious mind. Okay, hopefully that makes sense for you. The role of the unconscious mind is to use the sort of installed programs and to use the installed information to basically filter our reality. So the information that we have in our unconscious mind will determine what things we pay attention to, what things we don't pay attention to, and how we go about our day, basically how we perceive our reality. Okay, so we've got conscious to basically direct, unconscious then filters our reality. Okay, so the question then becomes, if you are involved in an incident, an event, or even a set of circumstances that has an intense emotional charge, whether that's intense emotional pain, whether it's intense physical pain, whether it's the perception of an intense threat, then what happens is, because the emotion is so high, it prevents the memory being stored and processed and being fully integrated. Okay, and what happens is there becomes a split between our conscious and our unconscious mind. So in those moments that are perceived to be too painful, what happens is a fragment of the memory or of the perception gets stored in our subconscious mind. Okay, and alongside the fragment of the memory is all of the information, all of the emotion, all of the charge that comes with it. Okay, and what's also interesting is that when we're involved in one of those intense events, cortisol is secreted through the system, the stress hormone, and that has a number of interesting effects. The one that we're talking about today is that it affects the part of the brain called the hippocampus. And the hippocampus is involved with the storing of memory and the retrieval of memory. So what actually happens is when this fragment of memory is stored in our subconscious mind, because of the cortisol that's secreted at the same time, the memory gets a little bit hazy often, or sometimes we just completely forget about it, particularly if it was a long time ago. But that fragment of memory is actually still very much there and alive and in your awareness. And because your unconscious mind filters what you perceive in your reality, these bits of unconscious information will determine what you pay attention to, what you react to, and what you experience. So as we go through life, and we accumulate a number of these experiences, particularly when we're younger, because obviously things can be pretty scary when we're young and we go through different stages of development. What happens is over time, we get these bits and pieces stored in our subconscious mind that essentially cause our subconscious mind to get clogged up, for want of a better word. We get clutter in our subconscious mind. And when our subconscious mind is cluttered, because whatever is here filters what we experience here, we start to become more reactive to our environment. And what the research shows is that our brain actually responds before we're consciously aware of what's happening. So it's these subconscious blocks or baggage or charges, whatever you want to call it, that actually mean that we start to become more reactive to our environment rather than actually deciding in the moment. So we then start to become a little bit more primitive. So it's more sort of the fight or flight. We're unable to make decisions as clearly because we've got all of this emotion going on. And basically, we're more likely to be doing uninspired actions. We're more likely to do the things that keep us safe rather than the things that challenge us and help us grow. Okay, so we have this number or accumulation of events which clogs up our subconscious mind, which then changes how we filter our reality, which lead us to being uninspired, which leads us to struggle to make decisions, and it gets us to that sort of primitive fight or flight stage. Okay, so if you think about the amount of experiences you've gone through, the millions of experiences over the course of your lifetime, isn't it likely that you've got some of this baggage or some of this sort of emotional charges sitting in your subconscious? I would say every human being does. Okay, I'll just put that out there. Interestingly, now you're aware of that, what I'll ask you to do is think about a problem that you're having or a challenge that you're facing. And then what you'll probably notice is that comes with certain emotions. And if we look and if we trace it, those emotions will come back to one of these events. Okay, so this is where my job comes in. So my role is more of a facilitator, and essentially what I help you do is to access these emotional charges. So to access the things that are actually causing the emotional baggage, so the fragmented memories, the lopsided perceptions, the imbalanced beliefs. And what I help you do is access them and then neutralize them. So we help you access them and then we neutralize them. And when I say neutralize, all that means is it helps you fully process the information in the event so that the emotional charge dissolves, so that it no longer needs to be fragmented and it can be fully integrated. When these different bits and pieces are fully integrated, then what happens is, because they're no longer perceived as a threat or a danger, basically it's like decluttering your subconscious mind. And it just clears your mind. And what happens then is that this transfers over and it makes you more present, it gives you more certainty, and it helps you take more inspired action. So if you have any questions about what I've gone through there, please feel free to ask. And if you'd like to know some more information, just pop me a message. Okay, thank you very much. Bye.